Yes, we are not educated, but we've got brains, we've got hands. And with our brains and hands, we can do and we can build a better future for us all.
We are interested in this kind of work because we believe that this is the predominant need for architects and built environment professionals in South Africa. And the way that we conceived of the project was not to deliver a product to the site or to the people of Denver, but to deliver a system of understanding.
Where does design fit into development process, and how can we be effective to support that, and not just come in and say we know what the answers are, but include people in the process of discovering what the issues are and how to solve those issues.
So we signed an MOU with the active NGOs on the ground through the university and established something called A-Formal Terrain, which is a research collective.
And through that process, we've taken students through similar processes like this, which is about finding out where does design fit into development process and how can we be effective to support that.
The concept that we came out with, working together with the community, the students and us, it's going to divide the settlement into sections because of the fires, because of the clustering of the shacks, the wiring that is on top. That was the concern. When the settlement is too clustered, it is easy when one shack bends and all of them bend.
When the firefighters come, we have already lost everything.
I remember.
The place turned to a ground.
In August, we had 40 shacks burning. 2 weeks later, there was 44. In December, there was 6 shacks that burned. In January, we had 77 shacks burning.
At a big scale, the settlement can be shifted and restructured to get very base services in place like emergency access, fire trucks.
They've got access, they've got roads. Then we can deal with that block.
And then ultimately the rearrangement of settlement typologies to allow for potential formalization over time. So that's really what the signs are. It's called the Positive Numbers Project, and we've been working with Tyler B. Murphy from Cape Town.
I was tattooing Eric and got talking to him about all kinds of things. And I'd been to an exhibition in Cape Town where all the work that they'd done in Marlborough South had been sort of put out there.
So we got speaking about my involvement in the project and the rest of the team and the practices involvement, and sort of conceptualized this in an instant.
I had this idea to paint numbers on places because the graffiti bylaw in Cape Town prohibits you from just painting freely. You need to get permission. But there's a loophole that you can paint house numbers. So I started painting like big house numbers on my friends' houses, you know. And one day I was sitting in the tattoo shop and I got a photograph of some graffiti that I painted in Kaidicho on a shack that's at the top of a hill. Made a cool photo, but I was thinking like they could probably benefit more from having numbers.
And how they work, there is a number, a letter, and a color code. The letter refers to a region of the settlement. So say you're living in region C, you know where you sit in the settlement, particular to how close you are to a route of an ambulance or a fire truck. And then the color code is red, yellow, green, and blue. Red is for vehicle access, so that's the emergency circulation. Blue is for pedestrian shortcuts or future pedestrian upgrades. Green is for public amenities. And yellow is trade and retail.
Here's you. Okay, so you're in E.
The people from informal settlement, they don't save. They don't have bank accounts because they say they need proof of resident. So the numbers will count the people.
It then begins to validate the existence of these people in transient places like this, so that through conversations with the ward council and other kind of governmental figures at lower tiers, that they exist.
If we want to open a savings scheme to Block A, we'll speak with the community of Block A, and then we understand each other. Next time we go to community B, and then after that we call them together and share the ideas.
So we've been working directly with residents, and every session brings another collection of residents together. So we're constantly getting ideas challenged.
Today I'm living a better life out of this initiative. And I don't want to live a better life alone.
We're testing this as we build it. And the further along we've got in the process, the more refined it has become. And it's not just Denver. We're interested in seeing if this is a tool that can be adopted by the NGOs right from the beginning, so that the enumeration process already has value, is linked to a community action plan.
To even challenge the government that if we can do it by ourselves, what is stopping you to do it for us?